just discovered a system that virtually eliminates penalties on the golf course. It's called the Decade System. Let's jump right in.
We're testing the Decade System by Fawcett today. I measured my lateral dispersions on the simulator last night. I know my driver is 70 yards, so I'm only going to use this if I have a safe 70-yard left to right dispersion, which I do on this hole, so we're going to see how it goes. It's balmy 40 degrees today, so it's going to be a cold one. Hopefully walking and swinging warms me up, but I am cold right now. Here we go.
So the first part of Decades is knowing your shot dispersion. Now for this, I use my MLM2 Pro. If you don't have a launch monitor, just go to the driving range and write down what happens with each shot. You need to know how far right and left you're missing and which direction you have a tendency to miss.
7-iron is going to go 185, so let's do it. I've got sand short right, so I'm going to set up my distribution cone so that the sand is not in play.
Now, as you'll see with my numbers, with each longer club, I tend to go 5 yards wider with my dispersion. And by knowing these numbers, I can always choose a safe club.
One of the things Fawcett focuses on in the Decades app is not trying to get birdies. So I'm not going to do anything crazy here. I just want to make sure I get that ball on the green.
With all the technology out there, we know that you're going to play better golf if you're focused on fewer bogeys instead of being focused on more birdies. For most golfers, there's 1 or 2 holes that ruins their round. This strategy stops that. And sometimes when you're not focused on the bird, you get one anyway.
We got 180 yards, a little bit downhill.
There's a bunker and a hazard on the left and a steep hill on the right. I don't want to be involved with either of those things, so I'm okay playing a shorter club to make sure I stay in a safer landing zone. I know that if I leave it short here, I have plenty of green to work with, and I just happen to pure this shot and get it pinned high anyway. And even though I miss the green, it's within my cone of dispersion, and I can be satisfied with that shot.
We're not getting draws like we were when we took our measurements yesterday on the sim. The big no-no on this hole is left, so right's okay. I'm just gonna nudge it up there. We're okay with the bogey. Par's a bonus here.
When you're okay with bogeys, you'll find yourself making a lot more pars than birdies.
Accelerate through the ball.
This chip onto a turtleback green is usually very intimidating for me, but by having this mindset in Decade golf, I was able to confidently assert a good stroke.
Not even gonna take my glove off for this one. How about that?
I ran the ball up close and had 18 inches for an easy par.
So left to right, we're pulling that up on the map. You can see we only have about 60 yards of width. So that's my 4-iron. I want the longest club I can that I'm confident will stay within that lateral dispersion. Let's go.
Now it's important to note that even when you're doing everything right, you're still gonna make mistakes.
Shoot.
This fell outside of my cone of dispersion.
All right, there's my ball. And the hole's through that. So even if I wanted to get aggressive, there's not really an option to. So I'm just gonna punch through this hole to the left here and wait for bogey. Confident, accelerate through the ball.
And when you find yourself in these situations,
Perfect.
just chip it out.
A little longer than I wanted, I think, but we're good. Safe shot.
It'll make life so much easier.
Oh, and then it goes left.
I had been missing everything right today, so I trusted that this one would miss right as well.
Back foot slipped out on that one. We may be in the sand, hopefully not.
And we did not miss right this time, but we're still fine. We made 2 mistakes on this hole, and that led us to a difficult look at bogey.
Okay. Well, from that position, I'm perfectly satisfied with that result.
And I'm in such a good headspace here that I think even if I miss my bogey putt, we're still doing the right things, we're still on track.
Didn't give it enough.
And we're feeling confident. Even though we ended up with a double bogey here, we're only 1 over par after 3. Managing expectations is something I battle, and being focused on it today was really beneficial for my game.
More than 75 yards of safety, so it's a driver hole.
The biggest benefit of knowing my dispersions was the confidence it gave me. I knew that no matter how the shot went, there's a 95% chance I'm going to end up in a good position.
It's going to be just off the right edge of the fairway. Good strike. Kicked the side hill and came down. We got 140 to that pine tree on the other side of the fairway. So I'm gonna aim right at that and play my 140 club. Yeah, we're gonna hit that. So instead we're gonna do a shorter backswing with a longer club and just punch something down there. So we're just doing kind of a half swing and making sure we accelerate through the ball.
Now, I probably could have gotten away with that 140 club, but there was really no reason to make life difficult like that, so I opted for the half swing.
That'll do. We got on the fairway, giving ourselves a chance at a green. It's 144 to the flag, but we look at those sand trouts that are guarding it.
Now, I'm not showing the dispersion cone here, but with that narrow of a space between the sand, I didn't want to get stuck in the sand again. I figure I have a better chance chipping it up and down, so I played a shorter club and left it just short of the green, banking on my chipping game to get the job done. And while my chip wasn't perfect, I still gave myself a decent look at par. By the way, I build custom practice plans. It helped me go from a 20 to a 10, and it can help you do the same. You can check it out at thescratchplan.com. Hard to tell in the video, but this is a steep, uphill, huge sidewinding putt.
Whoa, whoa. Slippery little devil. Oh, she's still moving.
And while a bogey on a par 5 may be a bit of a blow to the pride, I kept the big number out of play, and I'm still carrying a good score through 4 holes. Now, I'm sure you've noticed a very large percentage of my shots have been missing to the right. This is data I should be using.
Sprayed another one outright. Horrible follow through.
If I paid more attention to that, I could hit more good shots.
Make sure we don't end up short in this sand. And I'm going to cheat my aim left a little bit to make sure I don't catch the edge of that sand as well.
Now, golf's a funny game because the only time I did compensate for that miss right is when I pulled left
Pretty solid shot
on the 3rd hole and put it in the sand anyway. But again, mathematically, statistically, if you commit to the same shot and trust the shot you're hitting, your score is going to thank you for it.
And a bogey.
Now here I needed 260 carry to keep the pond out of play. I've been hitting my driver long and trusted that I could do it.
Horrible form, fine result.
But I got nervous and swung out of my butt. Weird follow through.
That was got nervous about the carry, swung out of my butt and had an ugly shot shape, but we're fine. 82 to the flag uphill. I'm going to play it like 90.
In retrospect, I think I would hit a 6-iron off that tee instead of driver. That keeps me short of the pond and makes it an easy shot.
Just way out to the right with everything today.
I need to commit to that right miss. I need to trust that that's what I'm doing and just continue to aim left side and let myself miss right, putting the ball exactly where I want it to be. A lot of people miss this. They get frustrated because they're missing right every time. But if you're missing right every time, that's an easy thing to adjust for and get yourself in a good position.
Yes.
Saved par again. Lots of scrambling today. That brings us to key number 5, which is aim for the middle of the green. Specifically, aim so that your dispersion ends up in the middle of the green.
There we go. The Hogan's hips, which if you don't know Hogan's hips, pretend there's a wall right here. Pretend there's a wall behind me. There's an elastic attached to my lead hip in the wall. And the top of my backswing, I'm just letting that elastic pull that lead hip. That keeps everything a little more on track, and that's why I finally got the draw instead of the fade. Wish I'd been doing that all day, but oh well. All right, for any of you Hogan haters out there, I know you're out there. A lot of people hate his book. Every time I think, oh yeah, Hogan taught this, and I apply it, this is the kind of results I get. I've been missing my irons horribly all day. And then I remembered that elastic lead hip with Hogan helps you set up 6-foot birdie putts.
Now that goes back to committing to one shot. Find the swing thought that works.
That's a 2. Come on.
Keep that swing thought and forget about everything else. We just want consistency. Once again, we had about 260 to clear a pond. This time I confidently addressed the ball and knew I would carry it that far. Hit a great shot right down the middle. Now here the flag's 75. I played an 80-yard swing to aim for the middle of the green, knowing that if I can get it on the green, I'm very likely to get par. I'm not chasing birdies, I'm just playing smart golf. And even when you're not chasing birdies, due to that cone of dispersion, you're still going to have some solid looks at birdies. I birdied the last hole, I had a good look at birdie on this hole, And even though the birdie didn't fall, I had a stress-free par. Now this was another hole where driver probably wasn't the play, because if I only carry it 260, 270 and go right, I'm going to be stuck behind those trees and upset about it. But even bad decisions work out sometimes. I hit a high straight ball here.
Sky ball, straight at the flag. That'll work.
And left myself about 35 yards to the hole. I didn't quite get all of this pitch and left myself about 30-foot putt.
Gave ourselves a chance.
But if you're paying attention, you'll notice that's 3 holes in a row where I have a decent look at birdie. And these looks came by following the decade strategy, not by aggressively attacking the pin.
If you want to dive a little deeper on the decade system, check this one out. Or if you want to see another system that I've tried out that works really well, it's called the 666 system by Golf Sidekick. I've got a link to that in the description if you want to check that one out. Let me know what you think about how I did today, if the decade system's a worthwhile endeavor. Obviously, if I can tighten my lateral dispersion, things are going to go a lot smoother. And I remember to use Hogan's tips, things to go well. So I'm going to do another video on Hogan next time and hopefully go low. We'll see you next time.